Hello. So today I wanted to share with you a little bit about what's kind of been on my mind over the last week or two. I just returned from a retreat and always with transformation, which is what my retreats are. Lit Tribe retreats are really all about Lit being love is the truth. But the retreats are about transformation. So I call to the retreats people that are looking for some sort of growth, some sort of shift in their life. They're maybe feeling a little stuck, a little stagnant, and it's starting to feel uncomfortable. And so they're compelled towards growth, and they just don't know how. And then, boom, this retreat shows up. But here's the tricky part about transformation is we want it to all be sunshine and rainbows and unicorns and wonderful, and of course that is a big piece of it, right? But the largest part of transformation, of shift, and of growth is we have to learn to let go. So to have the process of growing, of gaining new knowledge, of moving forward in our lives, whether this is moving towards a new relationship or a new job or just growing within ourselves towards joy, peace, happiness, whatever that is for you, that is you're being called to in your life, for you to make that leap, you've got to release something. See, because we've got to view all of our beliefs, all of the sort of the habits that we have in our lives right now as holding us down, almost as if they're like tethers, keeping you stuck right where you are. So if we want to fly over here and we want to move somewhere new or allow something new into our space, into our life, we've got to either let something go or cut a tether so we can elevate. And so letting go is the hard part. So in Hindu philosophy or in yogic philosophy, we look at this as Shiva. So Rama is sort of the god of creation, Rama. And we look to the god of creation when we want something, right? So when we're like, oh, I want this new job, or I want to build this new business, or I have this great idea and I want to bring it into manifestation. This is when we look to, Rama. We pray and we see it and it feels so good. The vision of expansion is so wonderful in our bodies. It just creates that sensation of love and happiness. It's really where we want to reside all the time. And so there's this wonderful aspect of creation. It comes with inspiration for a new idea or something new that you want to bring. You have a desire that's compelling you towards that forward movement. Just like all of those folks that joined me on the retreat. They had that desire within them for forward movement. So they got themselves there. And then once the desire is there and it's set in place and you've seen it, now we've got to allow for the process of creation. If we really want that thing, if we really, really want to move towards our greatness or to keep expanding, we've got to now look at what am I willing to let go of? What is trying to leave? What needs to leave in order for me to expand? So this is the part where it's a little less comfortable, right? We love the part of creation where we're walking in our dreams and where everything's manifesting and life is good. The part we don't like is the part where we have to move through the uncomfortable of letting things go. We have to release things that aren't serving us anymore, whether they be old belief systems, whether they be people, things. We have to do that spring cleaning, that clearing and that releasing, and oftentimes that brings about all kinds of yucky feelings, right? Turbulence in our life. It's like the whole foundation being shook. And if we can remember in those moments that this is part of the creation of this, right? The thing that is happening that we're letting go of and it's feeling super uncomfortable, if we can remember that this is exactly what is necessary to get me there, then all of a sudden we can rejoice in this. We can look at it as a blessing. We can look at it as part of the process instead of resisting it, instead of creating judgments around it, instead of creating negative emotions around it. We can learn to let it go. With a little less angst. It's still not going to be comfortable, right? But again, if you can move through it with grace, recognizing this is part of creation and it too is a blessing, because without the part of creation that is destruction, we could not move towards that which we want to see as our lives, right? The expansion. We have to be willing to walk through the growing pains or go into the fire of transformation. And I hope that in some way this talk has assisted you to recognize that if you're going through something uncomfortable right now, that this is actually a blessing. That maybe on the other side of this discomfort, if you can release the anxiety about it, if you can release the gripping onto what's trying to leave, if you can just sit with it and love it, love whatever is coming in that is creating that turbulence, and love it so much that finally you can let it dissolve, love it so much that you let it leave. And in that space, you'll notice yourself being free now to step into your greatness. Breathing techniques, yoga, these are ways that you can always lean on. Meditation to help you when you're in the turbulence, if you start to see yourself getting wrapped up in it and drawn into that negative feeling that comes with release. And if, again, it's a normal part of the process to feel the uncomfortable as you're being altered, essentially, right? Because when we're releasing these relationships, these things, we are literally releasing pieces of our identity that maybe we've clung tightly to. Sometimes we release objects, cars, homes, that we've really attached to as part of our identity, and as they're trying to leave, or they are leaving, we feel like we're losing part of us. This can be very big. But what if that's a part of you that is no longer serving you and will not serve you on the journey to who you're becoming, the journey towards what you've envisioned for yourself, for who you want to be? What if it's necessary for you to let these things go so that you can step into this new space? I know it sounds, it's so much easier said than done. And again, I would love to assist you in moving through some of these things. Sometimes we need somebody to hold our hand as we're walking through the fire. And again, I do life coaching, I do transformational retreats, so I would love to be there for you if this is something that you're moving through, or if you know somebody moving through this. Please reach out to me. You can look at my website, www.debbiedixon.net. And I'm also running for the Yoga Warrior competition. So this is with the Yoga Journal, and there's a wonderful reward that I want to use towards my nonprofit in creating a physical space. So I would appreciate it if you wouldn't mind voting for me. This is at www.iamyogawarrior.com/2021/Debbie, and you can find that link in the description. Thank you so much.